After the mass shooting last week in Prague that left at least 14 dead, we're likely to see new gun control measures in the Czech Republic, just as we've seen in the past in Britain, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Aside from the US, rampages in Western countries are almost always followed by new laws and by bragging of how these countries don't have the problem that the US does. Even after a shooting, it's always announced that these types of crimes are rare in the country in question. This is mimicked by multiple news agencies.
Begin in Central Europe with a rare, deadly mass shooting on a university campus.
Yeah, that building there is the arts faculty, a scene of horror earlier. Officials here calling this rare mass shooting unprecedented and insane.
Events. We know that this shooting is the biggest mass shooting seen in modern Czech history. There was a gun attack back in 2019, which killed 4 men and 2 women. That time, a man opened fire at a trauma clinic waiting room in another part of the Czech Republic. But since then, nothing of this size or anywhere near this size has happened. And gun crime in the Czech Republic are very, very rare indeed. I've been speaking to a number of journalists and they have all confirmed this. So,
while the guns used by the killer were legal, and the Czech Republic does have some of the loosest gun laws in Europe, there is an undeniable trend that these commentators seem to miss. Mass shootings are on a steady rise in Europe, despite gun control being the overall trend there. It's an easy thing to prove, as Wikipedia keeps track of all the mass shootings there. Wikipedia tracks the number of pages kept on these incidents. It's not a perfect record to be sure. An 18-year period from 1985 through 2002 has 57 pages of articles on mass shootings, while the more recent 18-year period of 2006 to 2023 has 100 recorded incidents, the most being for this year at 12 incidents. One incident in Kosovo in September of this year wasn't even recorded on that Wikipedia list. 4 people died when Serbian gunmen took over a monastery. This is all a part of ethnic tension in the former Yugoslavia. Whenever I think I'm faster on the uptake than anyone out there, I always find someone making the same observation while I'm in the process of making my video. In a CNN article, Jacob Wiseman, a Danish student, was quoted as saying, "I lived in the US for a very long time. If it would happen anywhere, it would have happened in the US." Now it's spreading like a disease to Europe as well. At least someone else is noticing this. How much longer will they be able to say this is an American thing? This wasn't always a problem in America, even in times when powerful firearms were common. Then in 1949, a sick individual murdered 13 people with a German Luger. A 9mm with 8 rounds in the clip was all it took for an evil idea to take root in the US. In 1938, a Japanese man murdered 30 of his countrymen with a pump-action shotgun, a katana, and an axe. They even made a movie about the guy, which is part of the problem. Rewarding maniacs with lasting fame for carrying out these sort of attacks just perpetuates the cycle. This sort of mania goes back even farther. In the Asia-Pacific region, warriors used to run amok with blades when they wanted to take out their rage on the world. This was such a problem that villages actually kept man-catcher poles on the ready just in case this sort of thing took place. If you ignore all the other countries in the world with high homicide rates, it's easy to pretend that this sort of thing is an American problem. I wouldn't try to convince anyone that firearms proliferation and gun control are irrelevant issues, but imagining that the Second Amendment and the National Rifle Association are central to the problem in a world where we can 3D print titanium and a Filipino craftsman can pound a gun out of shipwreck metal is very naive. If the real problem cannot be identified, the problem cannot be fixed. That's just my thoughts about it. Thanks for watching.